Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you the best Deviljho builds. The new Riftborne Season 7 meta, as this video analyzes the best builds for Deviljho weapons as of Season 7. I made a video before, but this needs to be updated because that was many moons ago. And we have the new Riftborne style customization, and there's literally an outbreak event right now for them, so yeah. And Deviljho weapons are unique because each weapon type has their own unique equipment skill. Now here's a huge note, important note, I will only cover individual weapons if there is a build worth looking into. Most melee builds will follow one general build overall. Again, one general build will be able to cover all the melee weapons, so if I miss your favorite weapon out there, go back to read that disclaimer, okay? First, we're going to start off with the Critical Ferocity melee build data, as this analyzes the powerful Critical Ferocity build with the Deviljho melee weapons. As we see here, Critical Ferocity 5 barely beats out Raw Power 5. No, it literally does. But if by chance the damage boost procs a little bit more, in a hunt the damage is huge. So you might as well Critical Ferocity 5 anyways. This is the meta build that will beat nearly every other build in terms of sheer damage, unless you are looking to make a build to take advantage of a certain mechanic. Or mechanics. For example, Quick Work for the Longsword. If you're using Quick Work with your Longsword, because Longsword has +1, that's an exception. You might want to use that as it may overall help you in the long run rather than just looking at damage. Because, you know, good builds, you take a look at the entire thing. You just slap it on there and you're like, wait, hold on, build this, but what do I do with it? In addition, it also takes advantage of the negative crit of the Deviljho weapons as it is high at -30%. So that's great. Critical Ferocity plus Raw Power plus -30% crit. Absolutely good for Deviljho weapons and Deviljho builds. This is the one that most builds will actually use. And here's that build for the Critical Ferocity meta Deviljho build. This is the strongest build for all Deviljho melee weapons without taking other factors into account. So it just goes purely into sheer damage. It doesn't take into account the weapons that, if they have special mechanics or anything like that. If you want damage, blow up damage, and you're already good with your weapon mechanically, this is what you use, and this is what pretty much most of everyone's using anyways. And the Deviljho weapon types that mainly use this build. So you could use it for all of the melee builds. But the other ones, and the reason why these ones use it is because their weapon skills, either one of two, they suck, or because data, and I'm going to put supporting data in there, they're just not worth doing something special with so that you can give up your damage. Those weapon types are Greatsword because of aggressive dodger, etc. Hammer because you slugger things to death, so not really worth giving up as far as damage goes. The Charge Blade doesn't have the best skill, unfortunately, with latent power. Switch Axe, Morph Boost is good, but not worth putting Morph Boost at full power because it's not as much as Critical Ferocity. Lance, because Offensive Guard is great, but Offensive Guard 5 isn't the boost that's going to give you the most versus Critical Ferocity. And the Hunting Horn. Sadly, Power Prolonger isn't great, and the Hunting Horn is more of a defensive Hunting Horn rather than offensive one with its melody set. With Deviljho's negative crit rate, this build provides 80% negative crit, making it very consistent. That's another thing. What's important about damage, not just damage, it's also consistency. Will this actually map out the way it's supposed to in hunts? With 80%, it is very possible this will consistently give you that Critical Ferocity damage. To use this build, you need the Glavnus Helmet at grade 6, the Glavnus Mail at grade 8, Basiljuice Fan Braces at grade 6, the Tigrex Coil at grade 6, and the Arzuros Greaves at grade 6. For the first weapon type, we're going to go over the Deviljho Sword and Shield data. And this data compares the best Deviljho builds side by side. As you see here, yes, we need to take a look at everything. The Sword and Shield does have Skyward Striker +2. However, if you put every realistic combination out here, and I put them all here, Critical Ferocity beats out all Skyward Striker combos by 13 to 15%, even if you max them at 5. However, it's not terrible. Skyward Striker 5 still works. If you can't build the Critical Ferocity build, because I understand there's a lot of components in there, a lot of monsters in there that are very expensive. And Skyward Striker 5, you can probably go after that one a lot easier than the other one. And most of the time, because you have Skyward Striker 5 anyways, most of your attacks will be using the Falling Shield Bash. So, it is still a viable build again, Skyward Striker 5, if you can't make the Critical Ferocity build. Even though, yes, 14 to 15% overall is a lot of damage to give up. And here are the builds for Skyward Striker if you're not going to use the Critical Ferocity one. At number 1 for the Sword and Shield, we have Skyward Striker and Burst, and this build uses Skyward Striker 5, Dragon Attack 4, and Burst 2. This is the strongest theoretical build outside of the Critical Ferocity build, and it's about 14% weaker. However, what's really cool about this build is that you have Evade Extender level 2. This allows you to easily reposition to safely spam Falling Shield Bash. Evade Extender 2 is pretty nuts. You're being able to dodge. Remember, a monster's just going to sit there and let you bash its face to death. So, you're going to need to dodge, duck, dive, and weave. You could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. If you know what movie that's from, we can be friends because it's hilarious. But yeah, it's totally worth it. To use this build, you need the Bariath Helm at grade 6, the Somnicant Mail at grade 6, Rothian Vambraces at grade 6, Deviljho Coil at grade 6, and the Ebony Odo Garen Greaves at grade 8. Here's an additional build. The Deviljho Sword and Shield build, number 2, the Skyward Striker Critical Eye build, as we use Skyward Striker 5, Dragon Attack 4, and Critical Eye 2. This is only 1% of a difference. No, seriously, 1% from that last build, the second strongest build with Skyward Striker 5. The only caveat is you need the Carnival 2024 mail. So if you didn't play that event, you do not have the Carnival 2024 mail. And that's the reason being it's so powerful is because you have Critical Eye Lock on. To this day, that is still one of the strongest pieces in the game. If you don't have that, use the other one. But what's cool about this one, you also get Slugger level 2 to get more stun potential with Shield Bash attacks. So yes, the Sword and Shield, if you do happen to land on the dome, the head of the monster using your shield attacks, which is the last of your combo for generally your regular combo, along with your Falling Shield Bash, you're going to be able to stun the monster, and Slugger level 2 helps out with that. To use this build, you need the Bariath Helmet at grade 6, the Carnival 2024 Mail at grade 8, Bishhatting Vambraces at grade 6, the Deviljho Coil at grade 6, and Ebony Odo Garen Greaves at grade 8. The next weapon type we're going to look to is the Deviljho Longsword, as this data compares Quick Work versus Critical Ferocity. If you're paying attention before, Quick Work +1 with the Longsword is enormous, because with one piece you could get to Quick Work level 3. If you take a look at the data and you compare them though, it's only about a 9% drop off in overall damage, which is pretty dang good. If you look right here, if you take off one piece and you give up 2 levels of raw power, it's actually not that bad of a drop off, and you might actually increase your damage per second because the windows you have using your Prairie/Helm Splitter are faster. So your mechanics are faster, and even if you're using style changes, your sheathing speed works with those styles as well. So Quick Work 3 might even be better than just dishing out sheer damage overall. Damage is huge. However, for your weapon type, if you are able to maximize the ability of your mechanics, then that's even better. So again, although the damage is higher with Critical Ferocity, Quick Work 3 isn't a bad option if you want to consider, hey, I can parry faster. And again, for style changes, for the Sacred Sheath, as well as I forgot the other one, but both combos, both style changes actually work with this combo. And here is the build, the Deviljho Longsword build, the Critical Ferocity Quick Work, as we use Critical Ferocity 5 and Quick Work 3. This maximizes your sheathing speed by giving up only about 9% potential overall damage. It's somewhat there, but again, maximizing mechanics is very important. And this also maximizes your style change parry actions as well, so this build might actually be the best for longsword style changes. You're going to be able to do heavy damage with your Deviljho Longsword. In addition, you're going to be able to sheath your weapon faster than anyone that doesn't use Quick Work 3 and just uses Quick Work 1 from the weapon. Don't get me wrong, the other build still works, but this one, again, maximizing your mechanics. To use this build, you need the Garen Golem Helmet at grade 6, the Glavnus Mail at grade 8, Basil Juice Vambraces at grade 6, Glavnus Coil at grade 8, and the Arzuros Greaves at grade 6. On to the next favorite type, one of my favorites just because I'm a Dual Blades main in the main series, and I love the Dual Blades. This data compares Burst versus Critical Ferocity. So the Dual Blades has +2 Burst. So after running the sim data and all the combinations, as we see here, Burst 4, Raw Power 4 barely loses to the top Critical Ferocity build. That's the highest, most realistic Burst build. The thing is, Burst 5 would lose out because it would give up a +2 slot for a +1 Burst slot. If you went Burst 5, you're going to give up Raw Power or something at Critical Ferocity at 2 levels. That's not great. So even though Burst 5 is really good, honestly, if you really wanted to do it, all you would really have to do is take the top build and just Drift Smelt 3 bursts into it to get Burst 5 anyways. So again, It's just really up to you, but if you take a look at it, 2 to 3% isn't a huge difference. However, you might as well build the critical ferocity build anyway, because that's the meta build for negative crit. So for the dual blades, it's just how it is. That the top build might actually be way worth than just going after the burst 4 build, but I'm gonna put that one out here anyways. And here is that build I was talking about. We have critical ferocity and burst with the Deviljho dual blades, as we get critical ferocity 4 and burst 4, and does about 2% less damage than the critical ferocity 5 build. If you have the Glavnus Greaves at grade 8, this build is worth using. If you don't have Arzuros Greaves at grade 6 for critical ferocity 5. Glavnus Greaves 8 is really good because burst +2 for leg slot is absolutely amazing, along with Artful Dodger, which is a nice little bonus. But factually, it's really dang good. So if you can't make the full build for that one, you're literally just switching out the legs, then this one is for you. But again, use at your own price. Honestly, I mean, use at your own risk, because honestly, you might as well just use the meta critical ferocity build. But if you want to use this one, you have the Glavnus Helmet at grade 6, the Glavnus Mail at grade 8, the Basil Juice Fan Braces at grade 6, Tigrex Coil at grade 6, and the Glavnus Greaves at grade 8. For the next weapon type, we have the Deviljho Gunlance data. And if you are listening to this, I'm going to chart. Someone keeps saying, I forget about the Gunlance. No, I don't forget about it all the time, okay? The reason I forgot about it last time is because my brain and I literally spent like 10-20 minutes trying to figure out how the heck Deviljho Gunlance and its custom styles, why would you style customize it? Because the thing about it is, the data shows the chart for the Gunlance data that we have right here and shelling damage. Long type shell Gunlances are best for charge shelling. Tap, hold, and shoot. I approve of the Joe Gunlance because 1, it takes work to do because you have to get it to 10-5, and it has artillery +1. It's a factually good weapon. I hate the Bone Gunlance. I don't approve of it. It's lazy. It's dumb. I don't like it. I cannot like something because not everything is good, okay? Not everybody has to like your weapon. But if there's something that's better out here, and factually it's really good, it's the Joe Gunlance. So I praise all the Joe Gunlance users, okay? Y'all are amazing. I appreciate y'all in hunts. There's a reason why this is the most built to grade 10 weapon in year 2 as far as Monster Hunter Now data goes for year 2. Then the thing is, Joe Gunlance is the only Deviljho melee weapon where it's in a weird place because you wouldn't use critical ferocity or damage addition builds. Critical ferocity doesn't work with shelling, so because of that, you are going to shell something to death. But this is factually a very good weapon to use with long style shelling, and because of recent armor releases, it's actually a good update, and I'm going to go over that in a bit. And here it is, the Deviljho Gunlance build, Artillery 5 and Focus 5. So this build uses Artillery 5 and Focus 5. Now Focus 5 is actually really good because now you can get Lock On and Focus 5. This is going to focus on charge shelling attacks, but because you have this piece, it is the Beatotis Van Braces, it gives you a Lock On +1 and Focus 2, which is amazing because this pairs well, and it gives you a awesome combination with the Nargacuga Helm, because the Nargacuga Helm gives Fighting Spirit +1 for some extra damage. So once you proc Fighting Spirit, you can get extra shelling damage thanks to the activated skill. So this is a really, really good. Again, if you're going to charge shell, this is definitely the best combination that will do the highest damage for you. And because of the fact that the Deviljho weapon gives you a +1 to your status because of Gunlance. To use this build, you need the Deviljho Gunlance, of course, the Nargacuga Helmet at grade 6, the Basarios Mail at grade 6, Beatotis Fan Braces at grade 6, Basil Juice Coil at grade 6, and the Gyrototis Greaves at grade 6. Now we have the ranged weapon types, moving on to them, starting off with the bow. The weapon that I made just because, you know, meta is meta and the bow is meta, as we compare elemental attack versus critical ferocity. As we see here, elemental attack 5 loses to critical ferocity 5 by like about 9%. The thing is though, elemental attack is more consistent. Critical ferocity isn't because your negative crit rate is only 60%. It must be at least 70% or higher. So unless it meets that standard or criteria, your consistency isn't great. Not saying it's a bad build, it's just if you are looking for consistency, it's probably not going to give you consistent results as much as Elemental Attack 5 would, because Elemental Attack 5 actually increases your value and doesn't depend on you activating 2 separate conditions to get a damage boost. And this brings us to the Deviljho build 1, Critical Ferocity 5. This build uses Focus 5 and Critical Ferocity 5. It has the highest theoretical damage overall, However, your negative crit is only 60%. Again, I'm going to keep repeating because it's important. Consistency is important. It must be 70% or higher to be consistent and reliable. That's how you know it's going to be good. But don't get me wrong. If you want to use this, use it. It's still effective. You just might not get consistent results. But you know what? If it dies, it dies. And to use this build, you need the Garen Golem Helmet at grade 6, the Nightshade Palumu Mail at grade 8, the Basil Juice Fan Braces at grade 6, the Regen Coil at grade 8, and the Arzuros Greaves at grade 6. Next up, we have the Deviljho build 2, which is the Dragon Attack 5, as this build uses Focus 5 and Dragon Attack 5. It only does about, again, 9% less than the Critical Ferocity 5 build. However, it's more consistent and carries Evade Extender 1, allowing you to discharge Sidestep in and out of range faster and into your critical range faster. A kind of important note is, if you're planning to use that spread level 3 at charge 2, you can't charge sidestep out of it, so this is pretty much if you're going to go to Pierce 4. But with Pierce 4, if you guys don't know, bows were actually buffed in recent updates. It gives, the level 4 was given plus 25% damage, which is still really good. So you can go ahead, go to full power, dodge out the way, and just spam spread with charge 2 to damage 3. For this build, you need to use the Arzuros Helmet at grade 6, not the Arzuros, Azor Helmet at grade 6, the Pink Rothi Mail at grade 6, Beatotus Fan Braces at grade 6, Deviljho Coil at grade 6, and the Ebony Odo Garen Greaves at grade 8. And the reason I'm saying the Beatotus Fan Braces is because they flex with the other build I'm talking about. Lock on and Focus 2 is really good. Do not use Arzuros Fan Braces just for concentration. 5% to your special gauge is not high at all. When you want to be wise with your resources, you want something that works with other builds. Beatotus Fan Braces does. Use it, don't use Arzuros. Last but not least, we have the Deviljho Bowgun data as we compare Critical Ferocity versus the Elemental Attack 4 builds. As we see here, Critical Ferocity 4 does about 8% more theoretical damage. However, your negative crit rate is only 55%, so it isn't consistent. On the other hand, Elemental Attack 4 is consistent. And the problem is both bowguns need reload speed / recoil down 3 unless you're using evade reloading for heavy bowgun and worm ammo or some other weird combo like that, you know what I mean? So unless you're doing that, then both would actually need reload speed and recoil down 3, which is the standard. And both these builds would be used for both the light bowgun and the heavy bowgun, so it would be either or. So you're going to use one or the other. And here's the first build for the Deviljho Bowguns build number 1. You have Critical Ferocity, as this build uses Critical Ferocity 4, Reload Speed 3, and Recoil Down 3. It's not consistent as your negative crit only totals negative 55%. In addition, another important note, Critical Ferocity does not work with worm or sticky ammo. That means for your heavy bowgun, you're only going to rely on spread for that boost. So unfortunately, unless you use the spread for that, it's not going to be great. And for the light bowgun, you're only going to benefit it with 2 weapons. It's only going to benefit 2 ammos. So it's up to you. Spread or 2 ammos for light bowgun. It's totally up to you. You can still use this, but if you don't want the consistency problem and you can build the other 2 pieces for the Dragon Attack build, you might as well use that one instead of this one. But if you still want to use this one, you need the Garen Golem Helmet at grade 6, the Palumu Mail at grade 6, Basil Juice Fan Braces at grade 6, Goro Puke Coil at grade 6, and the Azarathos Greaves at grade 6. Next up, we have the Deviljho Bowguns build number 2, Dragon Attack, as we use Dragon Attack 4, Reload Speed 3, and Recoil Down 3. This is consistent as it adds on your Elemental Attack. And like I mentioned about the ammo before, all of them will actually benefit from this, except for your sticky ammo. It's consistent as onto your Elemental Attack, and Light Bowgun has slicing 2 sliced tails, and both bowguns have sticky to have the ability to stun if you target the head. It also has Evade Extender 1, so you can also stay out of attack range and move into critical range faster. That's what's great about having the Elemental Dragon attack build versus the other one. For this build, you need the Namiel Helmet at grade 8, the Palumu Mail at grade 6, Legion of Fan Braces at grade 6, Deviljho Coil at grade 6, and the Ebony Odo Garen Greaves at grade 8. Hopefully this video helps you decide what to build to use for your Deviljho weapons. Here's the thing, Insect Glaive will not release till 2026, so unless you want to wait for that weapon, it's best to invest and decide now. I'm waiting for the Insect Glaive. You can too. It's really up to you whether you want to do it or not. But the thing is, we do not know if Deviljho materials will be discounted again. The discount period for Deviljho materials will end October 13th, 2025. So if you're going to build a weapon, you already know which type you want to use. Yeah. I already have plans for every other weapon type, so I don't plan on building a Deviljho weapon as of right now. I'm waiting for IG until next year. So yeah, I'm just waiting. With that being said, again, so totally up to you. Hopefully these builds do help you out. Do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I know some of y'all requested this video. The thing is, it took a really dang long time. So I hope y'all consider doing me a huge favor and doing what I said. Because I'm the best analyst in the game right now as a top YouTuber. And this is a whole lot of work. But yeah, hopefully your grinds are going great. Hopefully your Riftborne Deviljho event went great. I wish you the best of luck in your drops. And I will see y'all in the next video.